Hey guys, so I've mentioned before in my older Yu-Gi-Oh videos that I'm actually very interested in custom cards. I like the idea of stretching the limits of the game in a way that's been never before seen, whether that be equipping cards to individual players or giving main deck monsters ranks, stuff like that. While at the same time, I acknowledge that many people can abuse custom cards in any way that they wish for effects such as like auto-win mechanics or auto-lose mechanic type of things, but I really do believe that with a little help, custom cards can be pushed into the right direction. Actually, I've been involved in a Discord community called Yu-Gi-Oh! Custom Cards. It's a relatively small community where users can submit cards for the balance team to handle, which then get scripted for their automatic dueling simulator, Koishi Pro. I've been a part of Yu-Gi-Oh! CC for years and can attest that it's been worth it. You might even see some of the customs that I show off in this video over there too, so be sure to check them out. Link will be in the description below. Anyways, so in this video I would like to show off some of my custom cards, just throwing them out in the open for all to see. Most, if not all, of the cards that are going to be present in this video are going to be publicly listed on Dueling Book, so if you think that you would be interested in trying these out, you are absolutely more than welcome to. Sadly, as there is well over 50 plus cards present in this video that have all been made over the course of 7.5 years, I do not have the original sources to where I received the art for these. If you recognize any, please let me know in the comments below. I am well aware that a lot of these are from other TCGs like Vanguard or Digimon. I get that. You don't have to tell me if they're from Vanguard or Digimon. I mean like fan artists on Reddit or not Reddit, on Pinterest and DeviantArt and stuff. That said, treat this video as if it were a card pack released in the TCG or OCG or something. Obviously, these cards are custom made by myself, so the text and such may be off or hard to understand. I've done the best I can on my own alongside some PSCT helpers here and there. Oh, and slight stylistic choice, I absolutely love the Rush Duel template. Therefore, most of my cards will use it. The only cards that are uploaded which don't use the template are Pendulums, Links, and those that I upload on behalf of others, but they wouldn't be in this video anyways. So, just because something has a Rush template does not mean it is a Rush Duel card. If it's a Rush Duel card, it'll say requirement, condition, or whatever. It'll be formatted like a Rush Duel card. I believe... Actually, I've never made a Rush Duel card. I've only made cards with the Rush Duel template, so you shouldn't get confused. Anyways, I think that concludes all of my disclaimers. With that out of the way... Alright, so as you all can see on the screen, this deck here is Video Pack 1. These are all of the cards that we will be going through over here on my screen, and then these cards on the right you're not going to look at. Gotcha. Anyways, so we're basically just going to start in alphabetical order from monsters to spell to traps. Then we're going to go into the extra deck, and then I actually didn't have room to put all the extra deck monsters in the extra deck, so I put them in the side deck, so we'll do these last. But yeah, so we're going to start with Bushido Dog. Bushido Dog is a part of the Bushido archetype. Bushido Dog is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior Tuner effect monster with 1900 attack and 200 defense points. Its effect is it cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can shuffle your banished Bushido monsters to the deck up to the number of Bushido monsters you control and in your graveyard, and if you do, you can draw one card. And then it has another effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard. You can normal summon and set one Bushido monster in addition to your normal summoner set. It would be this turn. You can only gain this effect once per turn. You can only use each effect of Bushido Dog once per turn. So essentially the way that this card works is it has 3 effects. Effect 1 is that it cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters the opponent controls. When it's normal summoned, it can shuffle a bunch of monsters into the deck to draw a card. And then you can banish the card from your graveyard to gain an extra normal summon for a Bushido monster that turn. Alright, moving on. We have Bushido Eagle. Bushido Eagle is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior monster, 1900 attack and 200 defense. It shares the same ability from Dog, being it cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters that your opponent controls.
It has two other effects. Its first effect is while this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one Bushido monster from your hand. Its second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a Bushido spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Alright, so you're starting to probably see a theme here between Bushido monsters, level 4 Earth Winged or Beast Warrior with 1900 attack, 200 defense, and they're animal based as well. So we're going to see this theme throughout all the Bushido monsters, but the next card is actually going to be the ace monster of the Bushido archetype, Bushido God Burning Phoenix. It is a level 8 light winged beast monster with 3000 attack points and 2500 defense points. It has the effect, unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. You can normal summon this card by shuffling 3 of your banished Bushido monsters into your deck, and if you do, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. While this normal summon card is face up on the field, all special summon monsters your opponent controls with a level higher than this card are changed to defense position. When this card leaves the field, you can special summon one level 7 or lower Bushido monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and then you can only control one Bushido God Burning Phoenix. So yeah, this is the ace monster of the archetype. You can probably see it has some boss monster elements with the unaffected by special summoned effect. It has the towers-like defense position thing. It doesn't negate effects, of course. It's just unaffected by them, and it changes higher attacking monsters to defense positions. From what I recall, the Bushido archetype doesn't do anything with attack points, so as long as you can have something that gets over 3000, you can have something that gets over Bushido Phoenix. And then as far as its floating effect goes, I don't recall there being anything really good, like level 7 or lower. None of them have special summon effects that trigger or activate on a special summon. So this is basically just to float for the sake of having an extra body on the field, so you are not left defenseless. So moving on. Bushido Jaguar, level 4 Earth Beast Warrior, effect monster, 1900 attack, 200 defense points. So we're back to the same structure as Dog and Eagle. Cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Bushido spell and trap card from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. And then its other effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Bushido monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of Jaguar once per turn. So this card is a lot better, I think, than Dog and Eagle. This one searches out a spell or trap card, or recycles a spell or trap card, and then of course you can banish it from grave to special summon a Bushido from hand. So then we have Bushido Lion, and this card is actually going to be your main combo extender starter card. So Lion is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior, 1900 attack, 200 defense. Cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one Bushido monster from your graveyard in defense position. Then you can normal summon one Bushido monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So on Lion's normal summon, you immediately get a graveyard revive effect and an additional normal summon, which of course will activate the normal summon effects of whatever other Bushido monster you summon. Really good effect. Therefore, its graveyard effect, not the greatest, still nice though. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, whenever a Bushido monster attacks an opponent's defense position monster, destroy that monster before damage calculation. And then of course you can only activate each effect once per turn. Alright, so moving on to Bushido Lizard. It cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one of your level 4 or lower Bushido banished monsters. That's its first effect on normal summon. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Bushido monster from your deck to your hand. So Lizard acts as a graveyard, or not a graveyard, as a banish recycler on normal summon, and a searcher with its graveyard effect to banish itself. Okay, now for Rat. Rat is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior, 1900 attack, 200 defense. Cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one Bushido spell or trap that is banished from your graveyard and add it to your hand. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one Bushido monster you control. Until the end of this turn, that target can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, but other monsters you control cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect. You can only activate each effect of Bushido Rat once per turn. Next, we are going to do Bushido Toad. Level 4 Earth Beast Warrior Tuner, 1900 attack, 200 defense. Cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can activate this effect. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the normal summon of other Bushido monsters while this card is face up on the field. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Bushido monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and if you do, gain life points equal to its level times 300. So all of these are level 4, which means that you'll gain 1200, but if you have Phoenix in your graveyard and you add it to your hand, then you're looking at a 2400 life point gain right there. And then of course you can only activate each effective toad once per turn. For our last Bushido main deck monster, we have Bushido Wolf, level 4 Earth Beast Warrior, effect monster, 1900 attack, 200 defense. Cannot be targeted by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Bushido monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. You can special summon one Bushido Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster from your graveyard in face-up attack position, but its attack and defense becomes 0. You can only activate each effect of Bushido Wolf once per turn. So here, the normal summon effect acts as a basic Rhoda, and then its second effect therefore is a little worse. You can revive an extra deck Bushido monster, but its attack and defense points become 0. Alright, so that concludes our main deck Bushido monsters. Now we are moving on to my personal favorite archetype, Code. So starting with Coded Eyes Machina Beetle. Coded Eyes Machina Beetle is a level 3 Earth Machine Tuner effect monster with 1400 attack and 2100 defense. It has the, I guess, outside effect, not really sure what to call this, condition maybe, but this card is always treated as a Codeman card. So therefore it is not only Coded Eyes, but also Codeman. It has the effect, if this card is normal or a special summon, you can special summon one code monster from your hand in face-up defense position. But if you do, have its attack and negate its effects. It has the second effect, during your main phase, if you control a monster whose attack is different than its original attack because of a code card or effect, or a quick play spell effect, you can add one level 4 or higher code monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, have this card's attack. You can only activate each effect of Machina Beetle once per turn. So yeah, for a tuner, this card is pretty loaded. It's basically designed to get a material out on the field, and it acts as a searcher as well. And I think you'll see why, given the way that Code kind of functions. Fun fact, Code was also the first archetype I ever made all the way back in like early 2014 or so. So a lot of these cards have changed over the past 7 years. If you think a lot of these are bad or busted and broken, you should have seen them 7 years ago. So next we have Codeman Drizzle. Codeman Drizzle is a level 4 water machine effect monster with 1400 attack and 1400 defense. It has the effect, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one Codeman monster from your graveyard in face-up defense position except Codeman Drizzle. Once per turn, this is its other effect, you can target one other code monster you control, have its attack, and if you do, you can add one machine monster from your deck to your hand with the same level but different name than the target. You can only activate each effect of Codeman Drizzle once per turn. Alright, so next we have the Searcher for the deck. This card does not function like any of the other Codeman cards. It is completely unique in the fact of you do not want this thing on the field, you purely want to draw it so then you can discard it, kind of like Upstart Goblin. Anyways, so here we have Codeman Ecaps. Codeman Ecaps is a level 3 dark machine effect monster with 700 attack and 700 defense. It has the effect, you can discard this card, add one level 4 or lower Codeman monster from your deck to your hand, except Codeman Ecaps. It has the second effect, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one level 7 or higher code monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can only activate one effect of Ecaps per turn, and only once that turn. Essentially saying, the turn that you discard it to add a level 4 or lower, you cannot banish it in that same turn to search a level 7 or higher, and vice versa. Alright, so now moving on to Codeman Hyperdrive. Here we have Codeman Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive is a level 3 light machine tuner effect monster with 700 attack and 1400 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one other monster you control, have its attack. It has the second effect. During your main phase, if this card's attack is different than its original attack because of a code, card, or effect, or a quick play spell effect, you can add one Codeman monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate each effect of Codeman Hyperdrive once per turn. So this card is designed to actually be a 2-card combo with the next card, Codeman Militia. Codeman Militia is a level 4 Earth Machine effect monster with 1400 attack and 700 defense. It has 2 effects, the first one being, if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Codeman monster from your hand, except Codeman Militia. During your main phase, if this card's attack is different than its original attack because of a code, card, or effect, or quick play spell effect, you can target one other monster you control, double its attack until the end of this turn. You can only activate each effect of Codeman Militia once per turn. So the idea here is you want to normal summon Militia, so then you can special summon Hyperdrive. Then you want to use Hyperdrive's effect on its special summon to target one other monster you control and have its attack. So you normal summon Militia, special summon Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive's effect will have the attack of Militia. Militia's effect will activate. You can target one other monster you control and double its attack, so then you will double the attack of Hyperdrive. And Hyperdrive's effect, if this card's attack is different than its original attack, you can add one Codeman monster from your deck to your hand. And you'll see why with the card after next, why attack changing is so important. The next card is the Ace monster within the Code archetype. This is Codeman Zero. Codeman Zero is a level 7 Earth Machine effect monster with 2500 attack and 2000 defense. It has the effect, if your opponent special summons a monster with an original attack higher than the attack of a monster you control, you can target the monster with the lowest attack, your choice if tied, and that summoned monster. So for clarification, this first target here is target a monster that you control. Oh yeah, it says that, my bad. So you can target the monster you control with the lowest attack, and then your choice if tied, and that summoned monster. Send both targets to the graveyard and special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Then increase this card's attack by the difference in the 2 targets' attack. You can only activate this effect of Codeman Zero once per turn. So essentially the way that Codeman Zero works, I don't recall it working in the graveyard, so I'm actually going to change that now that I read it. It should only proc from the hand. So let's say you have Dark Magician on the field, 2500 attack. Your opponent summons Blue Eyes White Dragon, 3000 attack. Okay? If Dark Magician is the monster you control with the lowest attack points, Codeman Zero effect will activate, meaning you are going to tribute the Dark Magician, the monster you control with the lowest attack points, and the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So you're going to tribute both of those monsters, send them to their respective graveyards, and then you're going to special summon Codeman Zero. Codeman Zero then gains attack equal to the defense of both tributed monsters. So because Blue Eyes White Dragon has 3000 and Dark Magician has 2500, that 500 difference there will get added to Codeman Zero's attack points, making it 3000. Codeman Zero also has 2 more effects that are tied together. So, once per turn, you can activate one of the following effects. The first one, target one other monster you control. It gains attack equal to the difference between this and that card's attack. Its second effect, if you control a monster with attack different from its original attack except this card, you can double this card's attack, but if you do, its attack becomes equal to its original attack during the end phase. So you can see that this card essentially is supposed to act as a beater monster once it's on the field. Okay, so next we're going to look at our last code monster. And so this is the card I was talking about that works in junction with the whole attack manipulation thing. This card is not the only card to do that, it's just the only card in this card pack to do so. There will be about 3 or 4 more in the next one, so be sure to watch that as well. So this card is Code Woman Machthena. Machthena is a level 7 Earth Machine monster with 1000 attack and 2000 defense points. It has the outside condition, I guess, that this card is always treated as a Codedize, Codeman, and Machina monster. It has the effect, if you control 2 or more machine monsters, including at least one monster whose attack is different than its original attack, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, in face-up defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Codewoman Machthina once per turn. If this card is used as material for the summon of a code monster, that monster gains the following effect. If your opponent activates a card or effect that would target or banish a code card you control, you can discard one card, negate that effect, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. So yeah, Machthina acts as essentially a good material option for some of the extra deck Codeman monsters, which again we will see in this pack and in future ones to come. So the next archetype we're going to focus on is the third primary archetype within this card pack, and then all the others either support Bushido code and the one I'm about to name, or it's a very smart archetype in and of itself. So next up, we have Dawnblader, Bane, and Sky. So Dawnblader, Bane, and Sky is a level 6 Dark Warrior effect monster with 2200 attack and 1100 defense points. It has the effect, you can discard one Dawnblader monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can discard one card, add one Dawnblader card from your graveyard to your hand. And then, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or is discarded to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can special summon this card in defense position as a level 2 Light Tuner monster. If summoned this way, this card's attack and defense points become halved. Also, its effects are negated. You can only use each effect of Dawnblader, Bane, and Sky once per turn. So you can kind of get a gist for what the Dawnblader archetype is supposed to do here. They're monsters that summon each other by discarding themselves. Next we have Dawnblader Bear. Dawnblader Bear is a level 4 Earth Warrior effect monster with 1200 attack and 2000 defense points. It has the effect, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can discard, or you can special summon this card. Sorry. You can use this effect, or you can only use this effect of Dawnblader Bear once per turn. If this card is used as fusion material for the fusion summon of a warrior monster, that monster gains the following effect. Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects or by battle. Very simple and basic. This is one of the 3 lower level Donbladers that we're going to see in this video pack. So next we have one of the ace monsters within the Dawnblader archetype. If I can get my mouse on it, there we go. Dawnblader Aroco. Oroko is a level 6 Earth Warrior effect monster with 2400 attack and 1800 defense points. It has the effect, you can discard one Dawnblader monster. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal summoned, you can draw cards equal to the number of other Dawnblade monsters you control, being a max of 3. If this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can add one Dawnblader monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Aroco once per turn. So yeah, Aroco basically acts as one of the faces of the archetype, the other we will see momentarily. The card is designed to basically try and get hand control back, because the archetype is essentially discard, discard, discard. Your hand is going to dwindle very, very fast, meaning if you use up all your resources, if your opponent gets through the monsters you have on the board, you basically just hard draw into one, and you don't have a hand. So Aroco is designed to try and prevent that from happening. Next we have a Dawnblader King of Futures. Dawnblader King of Futures is a level 6 Light Warrior effect monster with 2000 attack and 2000 defense. It has the effect, you can discard one Dawnblader monster, special summon this card from your hand. It has the following effect, you can discard one card, special summon one Dawnblader monster from your hand. And then its final effect, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can special summon one Dawnblader monster from your graveyard except King of Futures, and if you do, you can discard one card. You can only use each effect of King of Futures once per turn. So something else with the Dawnblader archetype is that a lot of the main deck monsters, I fail to recall if any of the extra deck monsters are this way, but the way that it's designed, in my opinion, is I wanted to add elements of basically folktale, of warriors and legendary heroes and such here and there. So King of Futures refers to King Arthur, and then the next card will refer to Gilgamesh. So speaking of which, the next card, we have Dawnblader King of Heroes. We have a level 6 light warrior effect monster with 2600 attack points and 200 defense points. You can discard 2 Dawnblader Monsters, special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can activate one of the following effects. If a Dawnblader monster is discarded, quick effect, you can special summon one Dawnblader monster from your deck and face up to its position, but its effects are negated if it has any. Second effect, if another Dawnblader monster is special summoned, quick effect, you can discard one card. Then, King of Heroes has the effect, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of a Dawnblader monster, you can add one Dawnblader monster from your deck to your hand, so the same search effect as Aroco. And then you can only use each effect of King of Heroes once per turn. So next we're going back into the level 4 or lower monsters I mentioned with Donblader Lion. So Lion is a level 4 light warrior tuner effect monster with 1700 attack points and 0 defense points. It has the effect, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Lion once per turn. This card can be treated as a level 2 monster when used for the synchro summon of a dragon or warrior synchro monster. If this card is used as synchro material for the synchro summon of a warrior monster, that monster gains the following effect. If this card is targeted for an attack or opponent's card effect, you can discard one card and negate that attack or effect. Next we have Dawnblader Panther. Panther is a level 4 dark warrior effect monster with 1900 attack and 1100 defense. It has the effect, if this card is discarded by the effect of, or to activate the effect of, a Dawnblader monster, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Panther once per turn. If this card is used as Xyz material for the Xyz summon of a warrior monster, that monster gains the following effect. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can discard one card, special summon one level 4 or lower Dawnblader monster from your deck. So next we have the secondary face of the archetype that I mentioned before, Dawn Eyes Violet Dragon. Dawn Eyes Violet Dragon is a level 6 light dragon effect monster with 2400 attack and 1400 defense. It says, this card is always treated as a Dawnblader warrior monster. That's supposed to be in quotation, or that's supposed to be in parentheses there because it affects it outside of the game. You can discard 2 Dawnblader monsters except Dawn Eyes Violet Dragon. Special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and discard one card, draw one card. If this card is used as material for the Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link summon of a Dawn Eyes monster, that monster gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can discard up to 3 cards. This card's maximum number of attacks this battle phase is equal to the number of cards discarded, but all damage your opponent receives this turn becomes halved. And then of course you can only use each effect of Dawn Eyes Violet once per turn. So now we are done with practically, we are done with all of the primary archetype monsters within this card pack. We do have one more archetype to go through, but we'll hit it later. So yeah, next we have our just single generic cards and or TCG, OCG support. Gaga Magician Girl. Gaga Magician Girl is a level 6 dark spellcaster effect monster with 2000 attack and 1800 defense. It has the effect, if you control 2 or more monsters with the same level, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Gaga Magician Girl this way once per turn. Once per turn, while you control another Gaga monster, you can declare a level from 1 to 8. Until the end of this turn, all other Gaga monsters you control become that level. You cannot Xyz summon number monsters during the turn you activate this effect. An Xyz monster that was summoned using only this card and other Gaga monsters as Xyz material gains the following effect. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, decrease its attack by this card's, then, if its attack has been reduced to 0 as a result, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains attack, or gains that monster's original attack. So kind of a mix of like Slifer there, but it also gains the attack points of the monster that it destroys. Next we have Mechlord Army Punisher. Mechlord Army Punisher is a level 4 light machine effect monster with 1000 attack and 1800 defense. It has the effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy this card, and if you do, that target is treated as a synchro monster until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Mechlord Army Punisher once per turn. During the during your turn, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Mechlord card from your deck to your hand, except Army Punisher. So yeah, this was a card I felt like was kind of necessary within Mechlords, a card that would proc the destruction effect while also making an opponent's monster a synchro, and then it also has a Rhoda effect on the graveyard banish. So next we have the main monster for the last archetype, Star Poet Marie. Or Mary, I guess, but I think Marie's better. So Marie is a level 3 Dark Fairy Tuner effect monster with 1000 attack and 600 defense. It has the effect, if a face-up Star Poet monster is special summoned or leaves the field except Star Poet Marie, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand but banish it when it leaves the field. This card cannot be targeted for attacks or card effects while you control 3 or more other Star Poet monsters. Yeah, 3 or more other, so that would exclude itself. You would have to control 4 others. Or just other copies of Marie, of course. Alright, so that concludes all of our main deck monsters. Now we're going into our spell and traps. Starting with spells, we have the field spell, Blader's Resting Place. It has the effect, you take no battle damage from attacks involving warrior monsters. Once per turn, you can discard up to 3 Dawnblader monsters and or spell and trap cards that specifically list a Dawnblader monster in its text. Apply this effect depending on the number of cards discarded. If you discard 1 card, you can add 1 Dawnblader monster from your deck to your hand. If you discard 2 cards, you can shuffle up to 3 Dawnblader monsters and or spell or traps, except a Blader's Resting Place that specifically lists a Dawnblader monster, from your graveyard to your deck, draw 1 card, and I timed out due to inactivity. It's a good thing I saved the deck at the beginning. That was unfortunate. Dang. Alright, well, we are back again. Anyway, so we were at a Blader's Resting Place. I'll just start back here with the discard effect. So you can discard 1 Dawnblader monster or a spell or trap that specifically lists Dawnblader in the text to add a Dawnblader monster from deck to hand. Second effect, you can shuffle up to, if you discard 2 Dawnblader monsters, you can shuffle up to 3 monsters, or spell or trap cards specifically list Dawnblader except a Blader's Resting Place from your graveyard to your deck to draw a card. Its third effect, you can special summon a Dawnblader monster from your deck. When this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can draw 1 card. So the main plus side in my opinion to this card is the no battle damage thing. Dawnblader is an archetype that's very heavy on floating and keeping board control just by having a lot of monsters on the field at all times. So the fact that you don't take any damage from battles involving those monsters is a huge plus side. So next we have the initial spell card for Bushido. So this is a Bushido's Beast, or a Bushido Beast's Hunt. It is a continuous spell card. It has the effect, Bushido monsters you control gain 100 attack. Once per turn, you can activate 1 of the following effects. You can add 1 Bushido monster or spell or trap card, except a Beast's Hunt, from your deck or graveyard to your hand, or you can send 1 Bushido monster or spell or trap card, except a Beast's Hunt, from your deck or hand to your graveyard. So it basically acts as an archetype Rhoda or an archetype Foolish once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, gain 100 life points for each Bushido monster you control and that are banished. You can only activate each effect of a Bushido Beast's Hunt once per turn. So next, going back to Dawnblader, we have Bond Between Dawn. It is a quick play spell card. Fusion summon 1 warrior fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. For this card's activation, you can apply either or both corresponding effects. If your opponent controls a non-warrior monster, special summon from the extra deck, you can use Dawnblader monsters from your deck as well. Then, if your opponent controls more or less monsters than you do, you can also treat the materials as if they were discarded by the effect of a Dawnblader monster, which is huge, of course. You can only activate 1 Bond Between Dawn per turn. A very, very strong fusion card, as it procs the materials effects as well, and you can use monsters from deck if necessary. So next we have the field spell card Back to Code. So this is Coded Land Future City. It is the field spell for the code archetype. When this card is activated, you can add 1 code spell or trap from deck to hand, except Coded Land Future City. Once per turn, you can target one code monster you control whose attack is different than its original attack. You can either special summon one Coded Eyes monster from your hand with a different level than the target, or you can add one Codeman monster from your deck to your hand with a different level than that target. You can only activate one Coded Land Future City per turn. Next we have another field spell. This is a generic one though for machine decks. This is Overload AI, which I am going to have to change the name of because this goes within the AI archetype. So yeah, if you have any name recommendations, maybe I can just write out Artificial Intelligence. Anyways, Overload Artificial Intelligence, it's a field spell. Machine monsters cannot be targeted by your opponent's card's effects during the turn that they are summoned. Monsters equipped to machine monsters cannot attack or activate their effects the turn that they are summoned except machine monsters. Once per turn, you can target one monster on the field, equip one machine monster from your hand to that target. If two or more machine monsters are summoned or leave the field at the same time, destroy this card. You can only activate one Overload Artificial Intelligence once per turn. So, yeah. Next we have the field spell for Star Poet. Star Poet's Library, it is a field spell, again, for Star Poet. While this card is face up on the field, you can activate this effect instead of conducting your normal draw phase a normal draw during your draw phase. Choose 3 Star Poet cards from your deck except Star Poet's Library, and have your opponent pick one of them at random to add to your hand. Shuffle the rest back into your deck. So it's essentially Malefic World. Where was I? You can activate one trap card the turn it is set. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can set up to 2 Star Poet trap cards directly from your graveyard or deck. Cards set by this effect can be activated this turn. So very strong. As you can see, the deck, or the archetype, will be very trap card heavy, as I'm sure you see a lot of these traps over here. So yeah, this card is designed to basically search out the specific Star Poet you need and set them up on the field as well. So now back to Dawnblader, we have Wrath at Dawn. Wrath at Dawn is a quick play spell card. It has the effect, discard one Dawnblader monster. Negate the effects of one monster your opponent controls whose level or rank is equal to or lower than the monster discarded until the end of the turn. For this card's activation, you can apply either or both of the corresponding effects. If you have 3 or less cards in your hand, you can banish one Dawnblader monster from your graveyard instead. And then, if your opponent controls a non-warrior monster special summoned from the extra deck, you can also treat the discarded monster as if it was discarded by the effect of a Dawnblader monster, which again is a very strong condition. You can only activate one Wrath at Dawn per turn. And to finish up our spell cards, we have Zero Revival. This is a normal spell card, and it is always treated as a Codeman card. Activate one of the following effects. You can target one code monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, or you can send one level 7 Earth Machine monster from your deck to your graveyard. You can only activate one Zero Revival once per turn. So a good combo with this card would be to do the Militia and Hyperdrive combo. And then you could search for Mockthena, or what you could do is you could send Mockthena to the graveyard with Revival, and then you could search something else, like Ecaps, or Drizzle, or even Codeman Zero, and then Mockthena, with its effect, can just summon itself back from the graveyard because you have the 2 machine monsters with different attack points on the field. Alright, so that concludes all of our spell cards. Now for our first trap, we have a Bushido Beast's War. So this is a continuous trap card. It has the effect, all normal summoned Bushido monsters on the field gain 200 attack points. Once per turn, when your opponent normal summons a monster, while you control a Bushido monster, negate that monster's effects, if any. Then it has the last effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Bushido monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can only activate this effect of War once per turn. Alright, so I'm actually going to skip the Star Poet ones and go straight into the last Codeman trap, and then we can just do all the Star Poet ones. So, here we have Zero Removal. This is a continuous trap card that is always treated as a Codeman card. Once per turn, if a monster is special summoned while you control 2 or more machine monsters whose attack are different than their original attack, you can target one monster you controls and banish it. Destroy this card if you do not control a face-up Codeman monster, then you can only control one face-up Zero Removal. Pretty simple. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot about this card. Alright, so this is a continuous trap card, Survival at Dawn. It has the effect of a Dawnblader monster you control battles an opponent's monster. You can discard any number of cards. You can discard any number of cards. Until the end of the battle phase, all monsters your opponent controls lose 300 attack for each card discarded. If a Dawnblader monster is discarded to activate this effect, you can treat it as if it's been discarded by the effect of a Dawnblader monster. You can only use the effect of Survival at Dawn once per turn. Alright, so now for the Star Poets. Here we have Star Poet Aquarius. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 0, defense 2000. This card is not treated as a trap card. If this card was summoned this way, you can shuffle up to 3 Star Poet cards from your graveyard into your deck, and if you do, draw 1 card. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set when Star Poet trap card directly from your deck. You can only control when face-up Star Poet Aquarius. Then we have Star Poet Aries, Continuous Trap. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, 12 attack, 1200 attack, 1200 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn this card was summoned this way, if a Star Poet monster is summoned or leaves the field, gain 1000 life points. You can tribute this card, or you can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set when Star Poet trapped directly from your deck. Then we have Star Poet Cancer, Continuous Trap. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 1700, defense 300. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn this card was summoned this way, Star Poet monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet trap card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Cancer. Then we have Star Poet Capricorn. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 1650, defense 850. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn that this card was summoned this way, your opponent cannot discard or banish cards. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Capricorn. Then we have Star Poet Gemini, Continuous Trap. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack, defense, This card is not treated as a trap card. This card's original attack and defense are equal to the number of other Star Poet monsters you control in your graveyard times 100. During the turn this card is summoned in this way, neither player can place a monster on the field if their number of monsters would exceed the number of monsters that are on the field of this card's controller. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet trap card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Gemini. Then we have Star Poet Leo. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 18, defense 0. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn this card was summoned this way, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Star Poet cards. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet trap directly from your deck. Just directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Leo. Here we have Star Poet Libra. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 400, defense 2200. This card is not treated as a trap. During the turn that this card was summoned this way, Star Poet monsters you control do not have to tribute themselves to activate their effects. You can only tribute this face-up effect monster card you control. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Star Poet Libra. Then we have Star Poet Pisces. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, attack 800, defense 800. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn this card was summoned this way, if a Star Poet monster you control is destroyed, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet monster, or 1 Star Poet trap card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Pisces. Then we have Star Poet Sagittarius. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, 800 attack, 800 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. If this card is summoned this way, increase the attack and defense of all Star Poet monsters your opponent controls by 300 for every monster your opponent controls. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set 1 Star Poet trap card directly from your deck. You can only control 1 face-up Star Poet Sagittarius. Then we have Star Poet Scorpio. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy, Light, level 3, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. If this card is summoned this way, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for every other Star Poet monster you control. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set one Star Poet directly from your deck. You can only control when face-up Scorpio. Then we have Star Poet Taurus. Special summon this card as, or all of these are continuous traps by the way, if I haven't been saying that. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy Light level 3, attack 1600, defense 1900. During the turn that this card was summoned this way, if a Star Poet monster you control battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set one Star Poet trap directly from your deck. You can only control one face-up Taurus. Last but not least, we have Star Poet Virgo. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy Light level 3, 1400 attack, 800 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn this card was summoned this way, Star Poet monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. You can tribute this face-up effect monster card you control, set one Star Poet directly from your deck. You can only control one Virgo. Alright. Whew, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes all of our main deck cards for Pack 1. Everything else we have from the extra deck, so we will start here. Bushido Legend Leviathan. Bushido Legend Leviathan is a level 8 Water Sea Serpent fusion monster with 2500 attack and 1000 defense. Its fusion materials are 3 Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast monsters. Must first be fusion summoned. It is unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. This card is treated as a beast monster while on the field or in the graveyard. During your main phase, you can activate this effect until the end of this turn. This card's maximum number of attacks each battle phase is equal to the number of Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters on the field. During the turn you activate this effect, other monsters you control cannot declare an attack. Very simple, it's basically just a beater. It doesn't gain attack points or anything, it just has the standard 2500, but it can attack up to 5 times. Pretty strong. Next we have Donblader Bandit. Bandit is a level 6 fire warrior fusion effect monster with 2000 attack and 2500 defense. Its fusion materials are 2 Dawnblader monsters. If this card is fusion summoned, while you have 3 or less cards in your hand, you can add up to 3 warrior monsters with different names from your graveyard to your hand. If your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can discard 1 card, destroy 1 card on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can discard up to 2 cards. You can only use each effect of Bandit once per turn. This is a very strong card with Bond Between Dawn because Bond is a quick play spell, so what you can do is you can use this during your opponent's turn, fusion summon, recycle your material, and then you have a, not a negate, but you have a disruption removal effect as well. Next we have Galactic Codeman Flare Blitzer. Flare Blitzer is a level 7 fire machine fusion effect monster with 2100 attack and 1400 defense. Its materials are 2 machine monsters, including at least 1 Codeman monster. Must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards you control, or by the effect of Polymerization, Galactic Code Upgrade, or a fusion spell card. If another Codeman monster you control is, if another Codeman monster is special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Codeman monster from your hand, and if you do, have this card's attack. Once per turn, you can, once per turn, if you control 2 or more machine monsters, including at least 1 monster whose attack is different than its original attack, you can special 1 Codeman monster from your graveyard in face-up defense position. You can only use each effect of Flare Blitzer once per turn. So this is essentially supposed to be a combo extender within Codeman, since you can summon it right off of Hyperdrive or Militia, and then when you do, you can get a summon from hand, and then it changes its attack points, which sets up cards like Machthena, and yada yada. So yeah, very good in my opinion. On to Synchros. Bushido Legend Cyclops. Cyclops is a level 8 Dark Beast Warrior Synchro effect monster with 2700 attack and 500 defense. It requires 1 Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast Tuner, and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Must first be Synchro Summoned, unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle or inflicts damage to your opponent, but not both, you can make your opponent send 1 monster from their hand or their side of the field to the graveyard. It is their choice. You can only activate or use, you can only use this effect of Bushido Legend Cyclops once per turn. Next, we have Coded Eyes Imperial Dragon. Imperial Dragon is a level 10 light machine synchro effect with 2500 attack and 3000 defense points. It has its materials are 1 coated ice tuner plus 1 or more, that's old, 1 or more, with 1 or more non-tuner code monsters. Your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects. Quick effect, you can target one face-up card on the field. That target has its effects negated until the end of this turn. During either player's battle phase, while you control the Synchro Summoned card, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls whose original attack is lower than this card's. This card cannot declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. You can only use one effect of Coded Eyes Imperial Dragon per turn, and only once that turn. Next we have Dawnblader Tiger. Tiger is a level 6 Earth Warrior Synchro effect monster with 2300 attack and 1300 defense points. Its materials are 1 Warrior Tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. If this card is Synchro Summoned using a Dawnblader monster as material, you can target one Dawnblader monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Your opponent cannot target warrior monsters you control for attacks except Dawnblader Tiger. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can discard up to 2 cards. You can only use each effect of Tiger once per turn. So it's basically just a revival effect to ladder into another Synchro monster. Next we have Galactic Codeman Arrow X. Arrow X is a level 7 Wind Machine Synchro Effect monster with 2100 attack and 1400 defense. It needs 1 Machine Tuner and 1 or more non-tuner machine monsters. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Codeman monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And if you do, have this card's attack. Once per turn, if you control 2 or more machine monsters, including at least 1 monster whose attack is different than its original attack, you can special summon 1 Codeman monster from your hand and face-up defense position, and then you can only use each effect of Arrow X once per turn. I never realized that its effect is just backwards of Flare Blitzer. It literally does the same thing, it's just backwards. That's kind of cool. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll do the Synchro Monsters from the side deck, and then we'll get into Xyz and Lynx. Whew, gotta take a breather. Alright, so here we have Over Mechlord Astro Emperor Siege. It is a level 0, but it says level 1 in its effect. It is a level 0 Dark Machine Synchro Effect monster with 0 attack, 0 defense. Cannot be Synchro Summoned. Must be special summoned from your extra deck. Oh, excuse me, my nose. By sending 3 Mechlord monsters you control to the graveyard, each with different attributes than the other, and cannot be special summoned by either ways. While you control another Mechlord monster, all monsters your opponent controls become Synchro Monsters. Whew. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up Synchro Monster your opponent controls, equip it to this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to the combined attack and defense of the monsters by this effect, and it copies their effects as well, if any. If this card would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 monster equipped to this card, equipped to this card to your opponent's field and defense position instead. Pretty good card in my opinion. Next we have Power Stream Dragon. This is supposed to be a Rush template. I don't know why it's not. Anyways, it is a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is a level 8 Earth Dragon Tuner Synchro Effect monster with 2900 attack and 2500 defense. It requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more dragon and or 1 or more dragon or machine synchro monsters as material. This card's name becomes Power Tool Dragon and Livestream Dragon while on the field and graveyard. When this card is Synchro Summoned, target one other card in either graveyard. Equip it to this card. While this card is equipped to a card equipped by this effect, it cannot be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects, and it gains 700 attack and 800 defense. Excuse me. Wow. Whew. If another card you control would be destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead, and if you do, add all cards that were equipped to this card while it was on the field to your hand. You can only use each effect of Power Stream Dragon once per turn. I was a little confused there. I was like, wait, why does it destroy itself? But no, that makes sense. So that's Power Stream Dragon. Now we have Star Poet Guardian Marie. Star Poet Guardian Marie is a level 9 Dark Fairy Synchro Effect monster with 1000 attack and 500 defense. Its materials are Star Poet Marie and 2 non-tuner Star Poet monsters. Must first be Synchro Summoned. Once per turn, quick effect, you can send up to 3 Star Poet trap cards from your deck to the graveyard, a minimum of 1, increase this card's attack and defense by 1000 for each. During each of your standby phases, you can shuffle one Star Poet trap card into your... Wow, this PSCT is off. During each of your standby phases, you can shuffle one Star Poet trap card in your graveyard into the deck. There we go. Alright, so back to the regular extra deck. Bushido Legend Behemoth. Behemoth is a rank 8 Earth Beast Xyz effect monster with 2100 attack and 2900 defense. Its materials are 2 level 8 Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast monsters. Must first be Xyz summoned. Unaffected by the effects of special monsters of special summoned monsters your opponent controls. This card gains 100 attack and defense for each other Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monster you control. While this card is material to it, it can attack in defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. If a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster you control would be destroyed by battle, you can detach one material from this card instead. Next we have Coded Eyes Warfare Dragon. Warfare Dragon is a level 7 Earth Machine Xyz effect monster with 3000 attack and 2000 defense. It has the effect, its materials are 2 level 7 code monsters, including a Coded Eyes monster. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can attach one code monster from your graveyard to this card as material. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, target monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of other code monsters you control, and destroy them. If another code monster you control battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, you can detach one material from this card, halve the attack of that code monster you control, and if you do, make it unable to be destroyed by that battle. You can only use each effect of Warfare Dragon once per turn. Next we have Dawnblader Saber. Saber is a rank 4 Wind Warrior Xyz effect monster with 2500 attack and 1000 defense. Its materials are 2 level 4 warriors. If this card is Xyz summoned using a Dawnblader monster as material, you can target one Dawnblader monster in your graveyard added to your hand. Your opponent cannot target warrior monsters you control with card effects except Saber. You can detach one material from this card, add warrior monsters from your graveyard to your hand up to the number of other Dawnblader monsters you control, max 2. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can draw one card. You can only use each effect of Saber once per turn. Alright, so now on to our more generic support cards. The Galaxy Eyes Neutron Dragon. This is a rank 8 light Dragon Xyz effect monster with 3500 attack and 2500 defense. Its materials are 3 level 8 monsters. This card is also always treated as a Photon and Cipher card. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 8 Galaxy, Photon, or Cipher monster you control as Xyz material. Transfer its materials to this card. Cannot be used as Xyz material for an Xyz summon. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, banish that target. During the next standby phase, return that target to the field, and if it was an Xyz monster, this card gains 1000 attack and an additional attack during each battle phase this turn for each material it had when it was banished. While this card has a Galaxy, Photon, or Cipher Xyz monster attached to it as Xyz material, negate the effects of all monsters your opponent controls whose level and rank is less than this card's. Alright, next. We have number 39, Utopia the Master. Utopia the Master is a rank 7 light warrior Xyz effect monster with 2500 attack and 2000 defense points. Its requirements are 2 level 7 monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using one light warrior Xyz monster you control with no Xyz material as Xyz material. Once per turn, when a player's monster attacks or activates its effect, you can detach one material from this card, negate that attack or effect, and if you do, increase this card's attack by 500. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has no Xyz material attached to it. Alright, now for our other Xyz monster that's in the side deck. Rapid Fire Bat. Rapid Fire Bat is a rank 6 dark winged beast. Wow, excuse me, I'm just having all kinds of trouble today, aren't I? Winged Beast Xyz effect monster with 2000 attack and excuse me, and 2400 defense. It needs 2 or more level 6 monsters as material. If this card is Xyz summoned using only dark or winged beast monsters, inflict 400 damage to your opponent for each material attached to this card. This Xyz summon card cannot be targeted by monster effects while it has material attached to it. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, special summon one Dark Winged Beast monster from your deck and face up defense position with its effects negated, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only activate this effect of Rapid Fire Bat once per turn. So now, on to the Link monsters. Here we have Bushido Legend Griffin. Griffin is a Link 2 Wind Winged Beast Link effect monster with 1900 attack, and its Link arrows are bottom left and bottom right. Its materials are 2 Bushido monsters. It is unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters your opponent controls. During your main phase, you can shuffle one Bushido card from your graveyard into the deck. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon, it was going to be normal summon one Bushido in addition to your normal summoner set that turn. I've used that card enough to know. Well, we got booted out of Dueling Book again. Uno momento. Alright, so now we are back here in our deck, or we should be, and we were on Griffin. Alright, so during your main phase, you can shuffle one Bushido card from your graveyard into the deck. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Bushido monster from your hand. If a Bushido monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can gain life points equal to that monster's original level or rank times 200. You can only use each effect of Legend Griffin once per turn. Next we have Gaga, there we go, Sorceress. Sorceress is a Link 2 Dark Spellcaster Link effect monster with 1500 attack, and her Link arrows are left and down. Its materials are 2 monsters, including at least one monster with a level different than its original level. When this card is Link summoned, you can target up to 2 monsters you control and declare a level between 1 and 8. Excuse me. Whew. Until the end of this turn, both those monsters become that level. Quick effect, if you control an Xyz monster this card points to, change the level of all face-up monsters in the field to the level equal to that Xyz monster's rank. If this card, an Xyz monster or a monster whose level is different than its original level this card points to, leaves the field, you can add one Zubaba, Gaga, Go, Dodo, or Utopic monster from deck to hand. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Alright, and then we have Galactic Codeman Manipulator. Galactic Codeman Manipulator is a Link 2 Dark Machine Link effect monsters with 1400 attack, and his his Link arrows are up and down. His materials are 2 machine monsters except tokens. If this card is Link summoned while you control another Codeman monster or a monster whose attack is different than its original attack, you can target one other face-up code monster you control, have its attack, and if you do, special summon one code monster from your deck in face-up defense position, but with its effects negated, if any, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one machine monster you control, have its attack, and if you do, return this card to the extra deck. You can only activate, or use, each effect of Galactic Codeman Manipulator once per turn. And, drumroll please, for our very last card of this pack, we have Android Replicator, a Link 1 Link monster. Oh, I'm sorry, let's start over. Android Replicator is a Link 1 Earth Machine Link effect monster with 500 attack, and its Link arrow points up. Its material is one effect monster. Its effect is you can pay 1000 life points. Special summon one machine monster from your hand, but its attack and defense points become 0 and banish it when it leaves the field. If this card leaves the field, you can special summon, it's forced. Special summon one replicated machine token. It is a machine Earth level 3, attack 0, defense 3000, in defense position near your opponent's field. You can only activate each effect of Android Replicator once per turn. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that concludes Pack 1. We went through 50, 65, 70 cards. We went through 70 cards. That is a lot of cards for Pack 1. We covered 3 primary archetypes, Bushido, Code, and Dawnblader. We also dealt with Star Poets and a couple of other support things too, like Galaxy, Utopia, and Mech Lords. Whew. Anyways, guys, that was quite the video. I did not expect that to be as long as it was. I'll probably speed it up for you guys. But wow, yeah, so anyways, I would love for you all to play with these cards. All of these should be set to, again, public for you all to play. So yeah, anyway, guys, let me know what you all think. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Anyways, this is Crimson Jake logging out. Peace.